I need you to help me understand something. I need you to help me understand how we have Common Core standards, but we haven't had the time to really build the Common Core resources and the lessons that we really need. In New York, we've done a good job of engaging New York, but teachers need time. This is a seismic shift. School districts need time to garner these resources. We have a 2% tax cap, you know that. I want to understand how states are being allowed to use the Common Core state tests in teacher evaluation now.
Please, we're all here to learn and get better, so don't ever hesitate in anything. That's just the only way I learn and get better. So let's sort of take a piece at a time. On higher standards, again, we like common, we love high, and to be very clear, what I'm rebelling against, and you've heard me say this a million times, is I don't think this was intentional. Lots of reasons why No Child Left Behind was broken. We don't have to get into that. But one of the things that really troubled me on the No Child Left Behind is we had about 20 states lower their standards. Lower their standards to make politicians look good. Not because it was good for kids, not because it was good for education, not because it was good for the country. Politicians of both parties, to be very, very clear. So having the vast majority of the nation, whatever it is now, 43, 44 states, raise standards, that is a huge profile and courage. To be very clear, we don't set standards, we don't mandate them, we did encourage states to raise their standards. And am absolutely unapologetic about them, happy to have any conversation on that. Again, all this stuff is personal. I lived in one of those states that dummied down standards, and my moment of truth was looking at my data, thinking we were really moving the bar and students were doing better and more students were proficient on our state test and in elementary school, and the bar was low so that they were basically on track to get a 16 on the ACT. 16 on the ACT, your chance of graduating from college are pretty tiny. So that state bar, we threw out the window and raised the bar ourselves. This is going back 10 years. So that just context for why we think that's important. Now, behind raising standards is obviously supporting teachers and families and students in having the resources they need to be successful with those higher standards. And when you talk about struggle, when you raise standards, guess what? Lots of kids who are doing very well start to not do so well because of the higher bar. And so, again, we will never, at the federal level, we can't touch curriculum, can't endorse curriculum. It's actually against the law. So how you teach those higher standards will always be determined at the local level. Some communities have done that better than others. Some have been better at teacher voice than others. That's been uneven across the nation. So you have standards, you have how you teach those higher standards, and then you have evaluation. So standards, the curriculum itself, and on the eval side. And so what we've tried to do, and sure, imperfectly, is to try and provide states with a lot of flexibility as to how they do this. And who's our mandate? One thing, federal mandates don't work too well anywhere, but particularly in education. Education is a local issue. K to 12, we're at 8 to 10% of money. Half the money is usually state, 40% is local. 100,000 schools, 50 states, 15,000 school districts. So anytime we say you have to do this or you have to do that, that doesn't work. In fact, I think it shouldn't work. I really do think education should be a local issue and driven with that creativity and ingenuity and leadership there. And so we've tried to give states lots of flexibility and say you can wait on this for a couple years. Again, I gave the DC example, but we have not said to states you have to do this. And maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Happy to take that critique. But I think the best thing we can try and do is listen and learn. And many states, to be clear, 50 states, they're in very different places. Some states are 2, 3, 4 years ahead. Some states are further behind. This is very personal. New York has struggled more than many, and so this one is a difficult one there. Other states are in pretty good places. And so I always think for me to say you have to do it my way, I think honestly is the height of arrogance on our side. And so to be clear, that's why we have not said you have to do this, you have to do that, but we have provided additional flexibility over time so that states that want to do things at a slightly different pace, we're absolutely open to that.